NBA Players and Legends, Part 3.
LeBron James is by far our best player in this league. I don't think there's really anyone next to him. I think he's there, then you go down the list.
You know, Bron is, my GOAT.
Is he? Oh, let's talk about that.
The numbers don't lie. He's right there. He's probably ahead of Jordan.
I get asked all the time about, MJ, LeBron, and it's such a difficult question to ask. All I know is they're the two best players that I've ever witnessed.
You put Magic and Scottie and Penny Hardaway.
No, you have to put Jordan and Magic together.
And Penny Hardaway.
And then you get LeBron.
And that's every day, that you're totally focused on this. And he's gone past that 8 straight times. It's ridiculous.
LeBron is not as good as Michael Jordan? Come on.
What do you think?
LeBron is in a class by himself.
You know, Bron is, my GOAT.
Is he? Oh, let's talk about that. So give me your top 3.
Bron, Mike, probably like Shaq. Bron is the best player because I feel like, just because you talk about the best basketball player, not the best killer instinct. You understand what I'm saying? The fact that he can play all 5 positions, the fact that he's done this shit for 17 years consistently, no drop off at any time. And we've been saying, well, not we.
You can decide, you big teething right now, like you really feeling this.
But I'm saying
he's the best all-around player of all time. It's not far.
Oh yeah, there's no question.
All right,
I'll give him that.
Scottie Pippen. You would know better than anyone. How close is LeBron to catching Jordan?
The numbers don't lie. He's right there. He's probably ahead of Jordan.
Oh, my God!
What?
I just want to throw this water on you.
Michael Jordan is probably the greatest scorer to ever play in the game. But I may go as far as to say LeBron James may be the greatest player to ever play the game because he's so potent offensively that not only can he score at will, but he keeps everybody involved. And you have to be on your P's and Q's on defense because no guy on the basketball court is not a threat to score when LeBron James is out there.
I saw there was this big debate on Twitter about Kobe versus LeBron, who was a better, technical player.
Better skilled player.
Skilled player.
LeBron better skilled, but Kobe's a better player than me. I think Kobe better skilled, and I think LeBron a better player.
Really?
Just overall, yeah. Just because LeBron, his ability, right, to play with anybody and make anybody better.
I think LeBron is a better skilled player because he could do more. He a better passer than Kobe. He a better rebounder. I mean, he's ambidextrous. He could use either hand.
True.
He jumped just as high as Kobe in his footwork. His footwork.
I think Kobe
you'll never see, but the thing is, think about this. We seen Kobe before, or we seen Jordan, who Kobe emulated.
Yep.
We haven't seen
We never seen
like
LeBron. No, for
Magic
sure.
Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
As great as I think Kobe Bryant is, I never said he's not as good as Michael Jordan. Man, this guy, LeBron James,
you think he could be better than Michael?
I do think he. I thought
throw this water on you right now.
No, listen.
I'm gonna electrocute you twice tonight.
Kenny, listen. I always look at guys from my era. Like I thought I would never compare somebody to Michael Jordan, but this guy LeBron James, from a basketball, like he does everything well.
There's always been a player who you can compare somebody to. LeBron James is the first player that I've never seen another player that I can compare to. There's always been 6, 8 guys who were super talented, who were terrific players, but they all weighed like 220, 30 pounds. I don't think we've ever had a guy, Tracy, Scottie Pippen, who are all guys 6'7", 6'8", great defenders, great scorers, very athletic. But LeBron outweighed those guys by 30 pounds. And we talk about it all the time, like, whoa, man, this is a freak of nature.
Like, he does everything well. What didn't Michael do well? Michael did everything well. LeBron James just bigger, stronger, faster. That's the only difference. Michael Jordan always said, Michael Jordan had the perfect body, 6'6", 225. Can I run, I'll jump, tough, everything? I said, this other guy's 6'8", 260. I mean, we've never had a guy, like you mentioned Scotty. Scotty could guard a point guard, but Scotty was 6'7", 220. This other guy is 6'8", 260. He guards power forward. He plays power forward. I mean, this guy has the most unique body set. It's kind of like Magic playing the point. You're like, wow, this is a 6'9" point guard.
Magic, you don't think Magic?
Like,
Nah, I mean,
Magic wasn't
like,
this athletic freak.
Magic wasn't doing it like that.
You know, he wasn't this
Jumpers,
athletic freak.
It's at LeBron, the whole package.
Like,
Scottie Pippen?
Hell no. If you
I mean, if you put them together,
you put Magic and
you gotta
Scottie
put Jordan,
and Penny Hardaway.
No, you have to put Jordan and Magic together,
and Penny
then
Hardaway.
you get LeBron.
You know what I'm saying? We play in Miami. I'm like, yeah, I had a thing. If a team cut me, I was gonna have a good game against them because I'm like, I'm gonna make y'all.
Make them pay.
So I was playing good, woo-woo. Then the play happened.
I know where this is going to go.
Then the play happened. So Rip Hamilton, I'm like, Rip, back screen coming. Like, get through, back screen. Like, because, you know, Tiz, we're a defensive team, so we know somebody you got to fall back. So I'm like, back screen coming, back screen coming. So he don't move, he stops. So, okay, of course, I got a bag up, take away, you know, that. So we boom. I'm like this, I'm backing up, you know, guard you, man, like I'm doing this. So I'm like this. They throw the ball up. I was like,
Yeah.
Right? Like,
who is that for?
Yeah, right, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he, you know, comes over. I didn't know he jumped over me at the time. He dunked it. Boom!
Well, a little brush screen by Mario Chalmers. Picks off Hamilton, and he goes right over Lucas. Leonard didn't even see that on the play originally.
They go crazy, like, oh, man, I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
He said, I didn't know he jumped over
I
me.
didn't know, so my whole thing was like, oh shit, he dunked on me. Let me go get a bucket real quick. So I'm like, take the ball out. So I'm rushing down court. Tibbs called timeout.
Oof.
So
you gotta sit there.
That's the worst. So now, they like, oh, like just going crazy. You know that Miami, you know how Miami fans, everybody got white on in there. Look like you had a. So we on the bench and like, I'm like this. I'm looking at, you know, the circle thing. And like Joe Kim and Taj, we all like it's just quiet. Like, you know, the coaches huddle up in the middle before they come give you the game plan, right? So we all, I'm like, oh, like this, and Joe and like Taj gave me this thing, like, like yeah, that happened right there. So I get back to the phone. I turn both my phones. I had two phones at the time. I turned both them up. I'm like, I ain't want it from nobody.
Jason Terry, good defense. Wade from behind takes it away. Chalmers, Paul, James! Whoa!
What do you remember about that play? What do you remember about that moment?
I want to say it's one of the lowest moments in my career, but at the same time, I mean, I'll forever go down in history. Like, you got dunked on by the king. Every camp, every clinic around America, I go and talk to kids. They don't ask like, man, how did it feel to play 19 years? How did it feel to play with Dirk or win a
championship? Yeah. What
how
question
did,
to ask?
How did it feel for LeBron to dunk on you like that? All right, come on, man. Get out of here.
Was it a fast break?
It was a fast break, but what happened was I was coming down. I turned the ball over.
Okay.
So it's just instinct for me when you turn it over, I got to get it back. So I'm chasing it. I mean, I might have chased their whole team and the coach, trying to get the ball back. I got Chalmers coming at me, and then LeBron's coming down the middle. Took my eye off LeBron for 1 second, chased Chalmers, turned back around, and he was already in the air, like in slow motion. And what made me jump is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, there's no like, even if you did jump,
you're not gonna touch that, man.
You ain't touching that. Oh. And I jumped, man, and he lifted me on his knee, and I was still going up with him. Like LeBron just bang, bang, it was over. Like I elevated, I was in the rim. Hit the ground, man, and I didn't hop up quick. I laid there for a minute. And I think that's the picture, the meme that's out. Like I'm laying there with my arms folded. like we in a funeral, man.
I can't front, bro. I was one of those people on social media
That
just
wasn't
dying
cool.
laughing at this moment.
For 3 weeks, I was checking my phone, and people were sending me messages, man, you okay? Like, numbers I haven't heard in 8 years, I'm seeing numbers pop up. Jet, are you good? You dead, big homie? You good? Like, I don't know what these people talking about. They even said in Wikipedia, they said that was my death date, and it had the date and everything on it. That's crazy, man.
Michael Jordan, I don't think there could be a comparison to him, only because he's in a category far above everyone else, only because he's a mold breaker. Like, you're not gonna be Muhammad Ali. You're never gonna be Ali. You can be a great fighter, you can be the best at what you do, you can have a heck of a knockout punch, but you're not Ali. You're not Jordan because you can't break a ground that hadn't been broken yet. I don't see that LeBron is gonna break a ground that hasn't been. You can't be Magic. You're not gonna be the first 6'9" guard that come into the league and change the dynamic of what a point guard is. So he will never be that. He will be a great player, but he'll never be a groundbreaker.
But I disagree. I mean, I agree that Michael is above and beyond everybody, but LeBron is breaking new ground with the way he's playing, I think. I don't even know what position he plays, but he can guard all 5 spots. He's really the point guard, but then he plays power forward sometimes.
I was going to ask you, Steve, I mean, is this, sometimes you hear guys, well, he redefined the power forward position.
Charles redefined power forward.
Exactly. So what has LeBron redefined?
Well, let me make this. Well, I think the point that Steve was trying to make, like, if you remember last year in the playoffs, he guarded Derrick Rose. We would never let a 6'8" guy guard the MVP in our sport. I disagree. I mean, Scottie Pippen did that. But I'm saying, Scottie Pippen will never play power forward. Right, but meaning, like, okay, as great as Shaq was, he's never, everyone always says, well, Wilt. Now, Shaq, greatest player we've ever seen at his position but he's always, because Wilt was the groundbreaker, so he never gets all the credit he probably deserved because he can't break through that Wilt comparison.
Well, that's on the people,
what LeBron
but
is.
that's on fans
But I think that's what we're talking about. So I think that's the same thing with LeBron. He'll never be in that Michael category because he could never meet up to that.
Maybe that's next, though. Maybe that's the next step for him. He's got to win 4 or 5 more titles, and then people will talk about him in that kind of new mold.
I still think it'll be
Kobe. He's added the three-point threat. You know, when we came here 3 years ago in the first meeting, we weren't fearful of his shot. We were fearful of his power and his penetration and his passing. But now you fear everything. And I think maybe the greatest testament to LeBron is that, 5 years ago, he was one of the top 5 players of all time. And from 5 years ago till now, it seems like he's 10 times better because he's added so much skill to his game. And I get asked all the time about, MJ, LeBron, and it's such a difficult question to ask. All I know is they're the two best players that I've ever witnessed. They're very different, but however you want to rank them, they're right there together.
I'm shocked at LeBron that he's been able to do it for this long.
Consistency, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and we talking about him going to potentially his seventh NBA final. Yeah. And, he's dominated this era of basketball that he's played in. And, to be able to do it consistently at this level in these many places, Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland, he's been the guy, which is, head-wise, I mean...
Had to figure it out.
He's got to be a basketball savant, genius, just totally on another different level that, arguably we haven't seen in this league.
Shout to LB and your greatness, bro. You out here doing it every year. You've been consistent. He's never hurt. You never hear anything in the news about him. He's a great humanitarian. So on and so on with the ETC when it comes to LB. You know what I'm saying? LB starting schools. He's going 25 in the 4th against the Pistons. What else you gonna do, bro?
He's unbelievable, and I think we've played now till May 25th and May 27th the last 2 years, and we started on September 25th, and that's every day, like every day, that you're totally focused on this. And he's gone past that 8 straight times. It's ridiculous. And does it at this level and with the pressure, with the scrutiny, doesn't matter. It's just unbelievable. Our goal going into the series was to make him exert as much energy as humanly possible, and try to be as good as we can on everybody else who are good players. And for the most part, I thought we were pretty good at that. And multiple games now in TD Garden held him under 100. 3 games in the 80s, but he still scored 35. It's a joke.
The easy cut. James for 3. That's good.
Put Aaron Baines in the pick and roll, and that's exactly what they do.
Try another 3 and nails it. Clarkson out there right now with him. James drives on Horford, gets inside and lays it in off the glass. Deflected, picked up by James, turns, shoots, and hits. Drives, continues off balance, banks it home. Here comes James in the open floor. James grab from behind, count it, goaltend and 1.
Mama, there goes that man.
Would LeBron get the super status of the NBA if he came into the league in the 90s?
I think he's an athletic Oscar Robertson. If you look at that 60s era, 70s era, whatever that was.
But 3 inches bigger.
And 3 inches bigger.
Mm-hmm.
If you look in the 80s era, he's an athletic Magic Johnson. And then in this era, he's himself. But you add the athleticism that the other guys that had the comparable skill sets had.
Can we go to the next question? Seriously.
Yeah.
It's LeBron James.
Yeah.
He's one of the top, 5, 10 players of all time.
Who's the player that's playing in the NBA today, Elgin Baylor, that could have held his own in the league while you were playing and with the rules that you were playing?
No doubt about it. LeBron James. I mean, he's like a freak of nature. I mean, this guy, man, he's built like Hercules. I mean, he's 6'8", and I think he weighs like 275 or 280. I mean, he should be out there playing football too. But I mean, he is one heck of an athlete.
As far as playing basketball, you've got to enjoy this guy. If you're a basketball fan, you got to sit back and go, "Wow, how did he do that?" Or I always say, "Boy, I wish I had his speed."
Yeah.
But some of the stuff that kid does out there, he's by far. Kobe was always my favorite. Since I got out.
I don't like that, by the way.
But LeBron James is by far our best player in this league. I don't think there's really anyone next to him. I think he's there, then you go down the list.
Being a small forward, understand what type of player he is. Like Charles said, he's a player 6'8", 260, 270 with unbelievable speed and athleticism. You can't. Where have you ever seen?
He actually could have been better in our era. And
I tell you something. If he ever really learns how to play on the post and adapt that as part of his game, you think he's unstoppable now?
He might have played better.
Outlaw.
He might have played on the 24. Falling away. Got it.
Start looking to go now.
Trying to get it in the fridge. LeBron, tough shot. Nothing too tough for the King tonight. LeBron, baseline jump shot. Devin, another opportunity. LeBron, tough shot.
He's 2 of 3, 5 points, consecutive wins. And this is something they want to hang their head on. Oh, my goodness.
Minute 20 to play here in the quarter. LeBron turns, confronts 2 players.
You just said in our era. With better players and guys.
Better players, and I think you've been posting up more.
Yeah.
And also because the way we fouled in the 90s, he'd have developed a jump shot even quicker.
All right, unanimous yes to that, and Steve Kerr getting testy. And we'll be back with a little bit more on Open Court on NBA TV.
Right after this. LeBron would have been horrible in the 80s.
He would have sucked in the 70s. He would have been brutal in the 70s. Might not even made the team. It might have been like Darren Walker said Tracy was only going to play for 3 years. Darren Walker would have cut him.
Matt made a really good point, Sean. Do you think that LeBron James is still the best player in the league at 36?
He's always been the best player. He's probably been the best player in the league since his 3rd or 4th year in the league. It seems to me that, the media, they like to outsmart themselves and try to figure out a different MVP every year. Oh, we like this guy. This guy's had a better year, blah, blah, blah. That to me is kind of like the Michael Jordan effect, if you will, where you know who the best player in the league is, but you want to prove that you're smarter than everybody else by electing somebody else as MVP. LeBron James has been the MVP basically every year he's been in the league. I know that we like to compare other players to him and say, this guy is good. No one in this league right now has done what he's done, taking 3 different teams to the finals. And some of those teams, that Cleveland team that he won with, they had no business winning the NBA Finals if it wasn't for him. So to me, he's still the undisputed king.
Yeah, and you think about King James, he's played basketball so long that he actually played when Matt Bonner was playing. So, Matt, do you have any special stories going up against LeBron in your years?
Oh, a ton. But one that particularly sticks out in my mind was one time I was the lone person back on defense, and he was coming at me like a freight train. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to wrap him up and make him earn it at the free throw line. And right there, you see how strong and powerful he is. He went right through my arms and somehow finished that basket. And I remember looking at Coach Pop after he hit it, and Coach Pop just looked at me and shrugged his shoulders like, hey.
He's LeBron James. That's what makes him difficult to guard. Anybody else?
That's LeBron James. What do you want from me?
If you could have picked any current player right now to play with for an entire season, who would you have picked?
Probably Kobe, because the fact that he's, well, of course he wouldn't have been shooting as much as he does now.
Yeah, you would have had to talk with him.
His desire to win, his dedication in the offseason to get better, and he's just tough. He's just a tough cat. But if you want to have fun like I did with Bill Walton, you play with LeBron.
Really?
It'd been probably more fun to play with LeBron. But if you want to win and win and win, it's Kobe.
If he wants to win, he'd like to play with Kobe. If he wants to have fun, he'd like to play with you. Everyone interprets. How did you interpret?
Well, I mean, it's simple. Kobe has 5 rings and I have none. Okay. So it's easy to say that. You know, if I got 5 rings and Kobe has none, then it'd probably be the other way around. So, you know, I'm an easy target. Let's say that. Okay. If someone wants to get a point across, you just throw LeBron's name in there. You could be watching cartoons with your kids and you don't like it, you say blame it on LeBron. If you go to the grocery store and they don't have the milk that you like, you say it's LeBron's fault. I'm easy targets, and I understand that. I mean, it doesn't get to me at all.
Part of this vote, or the thought process, is always what is the good story. When Charles won the MVP, when Karl Malone won an MVP, they were a fresher story than Michael Jordan. I voted for Jordan every year, because I just thought that he is the most valuable player in the league, and he's going to win a championship. And I would vote the same way with LeBron. I always looked at him. He's like Jordan, that he's the most valuable person in the NBA, and he's going to play for a championship. Maybe that's not, fair to do it that way, but I didn't go out of my way to go, boy, I'm kind of bored with voting for the same guy. How about, Greek Freak was a great story last year. He wasn't the same story this year. I thought LeBron was a better story. That didn't mean he was the MVP, but I probably would have leaned that way to vote for LeBron to do what he's doing. And he completely reinvented the roster, made Anthony Davis the focal point, led the league in assists, and he did it in the Western Conference where people said, well, let's see what LeBron would do if he played in the Western Conference. So from a storyline, that was a better story than the Greek Freak.
And also, Theodore, I think if you ask LeBron deep down, he's trying to do something that no one's ever done in the history of the game. And that's win 3 championships with 3 different organizations and winning finals MVP. No one's ever done that. He's done it twice, obviously, with Miami and Cleveland, and he has a chance to do that with the Lakers. Obviously, he would probably be battling for that finals MVP with Anthony Davis, but he has an opportunity to do something Michael Jordan's never done, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which would be his 4th, but winning finals MVP as well.
I think LeBron's at the redemptive stage. I think he's at the stage where he's put in the time, he's been proving who he was, he's been challenged by everybody, and the fact that, he's stayed quiet and finished his goal kind of just puts him at the stage where I've done everything I've asked for, that you've asked of me. Now let me have the freedom to pursue and chase the rest of these championships.
I look at it, I think he started not listening to all the critics. I think the one thing is, I think he listened to everything. I think in the finals the year before against Dallas, he was up tweeting at 3 a.m., talking to fans. I think he finally started to say, let me just be myself. And whatever happens, happens, wherever the chips may fall. And he started to play the game a different way. For me, seeing him post up, to me, taking a challenge of guarding 4s, He didn't do that in the Dallas series. He never really guarded a Dirk Nowitzki. I think now he accepts the challenge right now to play center. So I think he accepts now, I'll do whatever it takes. I'm going to play my way. And I think that's what he did, is pretty much, canceled out the noise and just started to play.
What's scary is what lies ahead for him. He's already won 3 MVPs. He's considered by all of us as the best player on the planet right now. I think his best basketball is yet to come because of that one championship. And I think that's what's scary. The best basketball for LeBron James, I believe, is ahead of him.
Kind of scary, isn't it, Shaq? We haven't seen the best of LeBron James yet?
It's very scary, but unfortunately for LeBron, now that the monkey is off his back, he's going to be compared to 2 people. That's Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. So now the question is, how many championships can he get? We all know he's a competitor, and he's going to be going for that 5 and 6 mark.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Steve?
Well, he's the most scrutinized athlete probably in the history of the world, given the amount of media these days. I thought it was just really cool watching him break through that wall, as Steve said. I mean, he had that moment this year where he broke through to the next level, not only because he got the ring, but the manner in which he did it. The Dallas series, a couple years ago, he struggled in the finals. This time, he totally dominated. And I just think about the maturity. You think back to his Cleveland days, pregame warm-ups, they're doing all the camera stuff, and, it was all fun. It started not being fun for him for a couple of years there. And then I think he just realized the only way that this is really fun at this level is to win, and he got it done.
And that concludes